Hello. Today we will be practicing stretches and exercises for the lower back to help with balance. Let's get started. Start sitting up tall already through the low back. And we're going to start by just stretching gently into the sides of the back, all the way from the hip up through the fingers. Let the head and neck just gently move along with the motion. Just a small stretch. Just warming up the back, not overdoing anything, just waking up the body. Just like a little yawning stretch. And let that gently transition into a little cat paw right overhead to start. And then we'll take that forward, pawing to the front. Let the back curve just a little bit. And we're going to go down through the spine, moving along the sides of the spine, like moving down steps. If you find a place that needs a little bit more attention, just stay there for a couple more paws. And then move down the steps one at a time, waking up along either side of the spine, moving all the way down from the top of the spine, down through to the lower back. Again, if there's a place that needs a little bit more attention, take the time to play through that. Moving all the way down, so you're down by the sides of the legs, pressing down toward the ground. And let that transition into a reach. So you're actively reaching and stretching the fingers toward the ground, pulling gently from one side to the other. Let the head and neck follow as much as is comfortable. And gradually let that transition into a little walk from one side of your hips to the other. Going a little bit front and back. Breathing into it, you may feel the deeper muscles of the core starting to wake up a little bit with that walk. That's good. Breathing into that little walk, let the upper back move along with it. And then let that settle for a moment. And we're going to take a little tip with the pelvis coming forward and tipping the other way. Let this start very small. So you move into the motion gradually, curving under and curving back. If you had tail feathers like a bird, just curving under and curving back. Gradually allowing this to get a little bit larger, a couple more times. And let that find stillness. Relax out the arms. Take a nice big shoulder roll, sliding the shoulders and shoulder blades down the back. Inhale and exhale. Waking up the whole back. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to take a cat and cow stretch, going nice and deep into the low back here. Take that cat part of the stretch by curving deeply into the low back here. Belly button moving toward the spine, low back very active. stretching into it. You can even paw around a little bit like we did earlier. Finding the best way to stretch that low back. Keep breathing here. And then settle into a stretch. And then roll through your back to come up and find a cow stretch, which is a stretch going the opposite direction. Gonna lift at the top of your chest, a little bit of an arch. You can still talk in this stretch. You're not overdoing it, but you're getting a little bit of an upper back arch. Then relax back through, and with an exhale, find that deep cat stretch. And then right away with an inhale, the other way. Exhale, then inhale. Once more. Exhale. And inhale, back to center. You're going to take one more nice full roll of the shoulders. Slide the shoulder blades down. Think of sliding the muscles of the front of the core, right here, gently toward the muscles of the low back. So it feels like all the muscles of the low back are pressing gently forward to meet the muscles of the front of the core. Core muscles in the front moving back, muscles in the back moving forward. Not so much that you feel tight, but just a little bit so you feel snug and supported. Take a few breaths to feel those muscles turn on. This shouldn't be so tight at all that you feel like you can't breathe. Instead, there should be a sense of smooth support. It may help you to place your hands one in front, one behind, to feel that sense of forward and back. Smooth support. You can emphasize it even more on your exhale. One more time, feeling that smooth support. Good. And we're going to be using that sense of support in our next motion. We're going to reach the arms out right at about 90 degrees here. We're going to start them, that's our starting place, and we're going to reach them up just so far as you can go. It might not be all the way overhead without the shoulders feeling like they have to come up. Instead, the shoulder and shoulder blade is still down, comfortably integrated into your back. You're going to reach them up, and then right from that whole core, around from the front and around from the back, take a breath in and exhale. Pull right back down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale from that whole core, pull the arms back to center. Inhale. Exhale, pull right back down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pull down. Good, now we're going to try that alternating arms. So one arm is up, it comes back down. One arm is up, it comes back down. So we're going to take an inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. and shake that out. Release it. Now, we're just going to walk the legs a little bit, not taking them off the ground, but just coming to the ball of the foot, the front part of the foot. The heel comes off the ground in a very low little walk. But each time it comes up, think of the low back and the front of the core pulling that heel up, pulling it up and lower down. Pull it up, lower down. Pull it up, lower down. Pull it up, lower down. The low back gets stronger each time you draw that heel up. Stronger and lower. Stronger and lower. Exhale and inhale. 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 Good. Once more. And release it out. We'll take some stretches. Drawing that leg right up, either from under the leg or on top of the leg, right into a stretch for that low back. Take some little circles to help find that stretch, either holding there or right here, loosening into the low back. Take your time, moving it around, breathing into it. And then find a good stretch right into the hip flexor and the low back, and just breathe there. Steady and smooth. Head, neck, and shoulders relaxed with this stretch. A couple more breaths. And then lower that side down. Use the core to help you gently draw that leg up. First, circle it around. Loosening up into the low back, loosening up into the front of the hip. Taking some time to just massage around in that hip socket. Breathe into it. Either holding on top or behind the leg, whatever is comfortable. And then sink right into that stretch. Try not to add any extra tension anywhere. Just breathe into that nice stretch from the low back. And release that side down. Now draw the other leg right out and into a figure 4 stretch. Lean gently forward. If you like, add an extra stretch for your foot, drawing that leg into a stretch here. But the most important thing is the stretch for the back of the hip. Low back pain can often be made worse or even triggered by tightness in the back or side of the hip, or tightness in the back or front of the leg. So making sure to do stretches for your legs, for your hips, can really help to alleviate low back pain. Take a few more breaths here to stretch that side. And we'll release. using the core to help you draw that leg up. If you like taking an extra stretch for that foot, but mostly leaning forward to find the stretch in the back of the hip. Leaning forward, back nice and long, supported by the core. Shoulders relaxed, head and neck relaxed. Breathing fully into that stretch. Couple more breaths here. And then release that leg down. We'll take a hamstring stretch. Move gently forward. Keep the back nice and long, core supported, walking forward. Your hands may be higher on your thigh, lower down, or even holding on to your foot, depending on your flexibility. Take some nice full breaths here, stretching the back of the leg. You may feel this in your hamstring or in your lower leg, depending on where you need a stretch. And just breathe into it. A few more breaths there. And then walk your way up. Switching to the other side, walking down nice and smooth. Finding the best placement for your hands. And breathing into the stretch. Keeping the core nice and strong, the shoulders and shoulder blades down. And walking your way up. Shift gently forward. Place your feet flat on the floor. Active through the core. Rock forward. Press gently up. And we'll take one more standing. Turn your chair to face the side. Stand so you can place both of your hands on the back of the chair. Place your feet in a comfortable parallel position, about hip width apart. Lengthen up through the legs, strong through the core. Make sure you're not leaning back or too far forward, but right in the middle. Right now, think of opening and pressing gently back through the low back so you're not crunching into your low back. Rather, your low back feels a sense of expansion, being very open all the way up into the mid back, but especially through that lower back. And we're going to just stretch one leg directly out behind you. And as you do that, try not to lose that sense of expansion. Instead, keep that sense of expansion as you reach that leg out behind you. You'll feel the upper body come slightly forward in counterbalance. That's great. Feel that sense of stretch and the strength of standing over this other leg. Just hold that. And then draw it back in. Shift your weight over to the other side. Nice and expansive through the low back, strong from the front of the core, open through that low back, and stretch the other leg out, keeping that sense of strength and expansion. Then draw that side back in. Try that one more time. Shifting your weight over, sliding that leg out, expansive through the low back, strong into the core. Draw it back in. Shifting over, sliding it out, drawing it back in. If you're ready for more of a challenge with this one, you can reach the opposite arm as that leg out, and at the same time, without leaning back, you're going to think of reaching forward and up. Reach both the arm and the leg out, so you're going to feel a sense of a long diagonal along your back from fingers to your toes. So there's a sense of stretch all the way down your back, all the way down to your toes. Then draw that back in. If you're not ready for that one, just try that stretch out and stretch in. Let's take the other side, shifting over. If you're ready for that challenge, reach the arm out, and we'll reach all the way up. Take your time to find that sense of a stretch from the fingers all the way across your back, from fingers down through your hips to your toes. The thing to watch out for is your hip turning this way. Instead, keep that nice long stretch all the way from fingers to your toes. A couple more seconds. And there you go. Thank you very much.